Feeling lost in life? Follow me. But first, let me tell you a story. Over the past year, I've been living life full throttle. Moving to a new city, making lifelong friends, dancing, saying yes to new experiences, and genuinely enjoying the process of figuring out and living up to my values. And now, for the first time in months, I've stopped. I've quit my job, left the city, and I've been spending the last few days at my family's house.
I'll do it now.
Yeah.
Set it up.
What would you create a YouTube channel about?
Stupid bloody kids.
You should walk through the forest barefoot.
You stupid idiot. No one should walk through the forest barefoot.
We should.
Now I'm putting your bed back on, yeah?
It's not my bed.
Pink fairy bedding, yeah?
It's not mine.
Hilarious. Forrest Gump, man. And you still stink. Have you not done your armpits yet?
After I quit my job, I left my flat and I moved into a hostel, with the idea being I could streamline my environment to be able to make more YouTube videos, and it would be cheaper as well. If I'm honest, a lot of people don't really understand what I'm doing, and I get it. It's like, oh, you're leaving a good flat to move into a hostel? Yeah. How I'm feeling about it now, 3 days out of moving, I'm like, yeah, looking forward to it. I'm ready to just move into that new lifestyle. The only thing is transporting all my stuff to the hostel. Getting rid of this stuff, getting rid of clothes so I can fit it in these 2 backpacks. I'm starting to realise I actually have more things than I thought, so this is going to be a bit of a difficult one, but the reward will be great. It wasn't long until the international students started doing my head in. I was fed up of not being able to find a spoon every time I went into the kitchen, and everything just felt like a really heavy lift. I remember this one day where I was transporting like 25% of my things from my flat to the hostel, and I was in an Uber car, and I was thinking, I just hope that this Uber journey continues forever. After a week, I've returned to my family's home for a few days with the idea that I'd go through all of my possessions and streamline them, i.e. get rid of everything that I don't need and only keep the essential things. The journey of packing one bag begins with folding a single t-shirt. But when am I going to need all these books in a hostel? When am I going to need, boxes like that in a hostel? But the ideal situation is to just have 2 backpacks, and even them not be too heavy, so that's the aim. But after one day, I just couldn't be bothered to do anything. I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I had no energy and no desire to actually do what I needed to do. So I stopped, and I realised that if I have the luxury to allow time to pass while I figure out what I need to do and allow myself to rest, then I should take it. And I also realised again, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And since allowing that time to pass and allowing myself to rest, this is what I've realised about purpose and figuring out what to do with your life. Oh, we're on. Now, when you close a chapter in your life, you enter an inevitable stage of rest, which sometimes feels like confusion, because you finish something and then the next thing that you're going to do, the next layer of your purpose, doesn't necessarily become apparent to you like that. Now, the way I've realised our purpose works is just like an onion, in the sense that we peel back the many layers, and there are many layers of your purpose in life because our purpose evolves with us. I do think that we all have a fundamental core purpose that we all have in life. Like, for example, I feel like mine is to represent myself to the best I possibly can so that I can be a good example to others. I don't feel like that will change much over the course of my life. The purposes that change are the more micro purposes. So for example, your purpose might change a lot when you become a parent, or when you get into a relationship, or when you're living in a different part of the world. So essentially, when one door closes, all we need to do is give ourselves the permission to rest. But usually the reason why we don't, and we busy ourselves with tasks and duties, is because we live in a society where productivity is deemed as the most high value thing that we can possibly do. Be productive and get things done. And being in a period of not doing anything and resting is frowned upon. But I'm here to tell you that the more you busy yourself with tasks and duties, the more you distract yourself with entertainment, technology, and spending time with other people when you're not feeling like it, the more you're going to delay the necessary realizations you need for your next layer of purpose to come forward. So essentially, all you need to do is avoid distractions and just listen. Don't continue to do the things that you were already doing when you need to rest, because like I said, you're going to delay the time frame of your recovery. Go to the woods and scream, walk barefoot, go on a 7-day hike, go to a country you've never been before, or stay where you are and just do nothing. Allow yourself to be so bored that you go insane. And then, in time, your next purpose will appear. You will have a vision. Sit in your room and stare at your wall until a new vision appears, and it will. Now, even though I think you need to rest, I'm going to give you some mental exercises that you can do in order to speed the process of uncovering your next layer of purpose along. Now, the first one is a good one, and it's called the Odyssey Plan, and you do 3 things. So you want to think about your life in a 5-year time frame. You get a sheet of paper and you want to segment the years. So 1 to 2, or 0 to 1 year, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. And you do this 3 times. Now, in the first exercise, you think about what would your life look like if you continued doing the things that you're doing right now. Don't change anything. And number 2, you do exactly the same again, but you write what your life would look like over a 5-year time frame if you change something and you picked a different path. Maybe you have an idea of that path and you're entertaining it in your mind, hence you're a bit uncertain about it. So figure out what would your life look like if you chose that other path. And then number 3, this is the best one. You write what your life would be like over a 5-year period if money and social pressure weren't an object. Allow yourself to be as ambitious as you want, as creative as you want. If you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do? This might take a few days for you to do, or it might take 20 minutes. Number 2, the ideal ordinary week. Very simply, 5 years from now, what would you like a week in your life to look like? What would it include? Think about it as a table with 5 legs. Health, self, purpose, social, family. You can add any legs or take any out that you want. Now, the last technique, the gravestone idea. I love it. This is the best one, and this will cut to the core of what you should do for the rest of your life. What you do is you do a mental exercise where you imagine that you're 90 years old and that you're on your deathbed, and then one of your great-grandchildren rushes into the room just as you're about to die and says, "Oh, great-grandparent, you are so wise and you've lived a fulfilling life, but I'm unsure what to do with my life. What would you advise me to do?" Your 1-minute response, instinctually, is what you should do for the rest of your life. Don't think about it, just write it down for 1 minute and then boom, stop. You can come back to it and edit it in the future, but train yourself to instinctually answer, then you'll have your answers. Last thing I wanted to say is I could recommend you loads of books about purpose, but the truth is, you have your answers, you just don't realise it yet. You feel uncertain, and that is the gift. If anything, I feel a little bit jealous of you because the aha moment when you come out of the uncertainty is amazing, but you don't know how long it will take, so you just have to get rid of all of the distractions, cultivate stillness and solitude, and then don't return to normal life until you find your vision. You don't need advice from any other people because you have your answers. You just need to write, you need to think, you just need to take time. It will make all the difference in the world, trust me. And also, if you're taking all of this time out and no vision is coming to mind and a week has gone by, 2 weeks, and you still don't know, then think about something you're insecure about and then work on developing it. And then that will give you a framework to focus on something that is worthwhile while you're still waiting for a bigger vision to appear. This isn't the time to go safe and practical. Your time is short, but it's a whole lot bigger than that now. Don't wait for the confidence to come. The confidence comes through action. Don't wait for the books to show you the path. The path is discovered with the sweeping of the floor, and the floors are not swept through reading. Begin to callous the mind. Your attention span is short from access, so stop being distracted and allow yourself time to learn something valuable. You can, if you want to, if you really want to, but you have to remain centered when everything else tells you not to. You must remain indifferent and yet at harmony with everything. Amor fati, everything begins now. Continue to focus on yourself as well as of being assistance to others, and still the good will continue as well as the challenges. Each day is progression, and each day is closer to death. So sprint for the finish line and remember to leave no trace. Move from moment to moment and don't swim against the current. Swim with the flow and trust it. Trust that it's going in the right direction and everything will be just as it's meant to be, and better. When in doubt, do something uncomfortable.